If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your faded words I will choke.
Happy Top 5 Tuesday to everyone in the sports universe. It is the last day of May 31st, 2022. This is the AM Drive on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and we are live. For fill-in guest co-host Simi Action and regular host Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvelis saying what's up, guys.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning,
Morning, Mike. I think we may have to in the future when I do come back full time, if Sammy's okay for it, we may have to remove the interim tag here and be a three-headed monster.
I don't mind him coming on.
I will be here as much as you guys want me. I love doing the show.
Well, Sammy, if you, I'm gonna say if you want it, I think we remove the interim tag after the summer. But we got all 2 months to talk about that. I did notice that in the spirit of hockey playoffs, we have 3 different teams represented. Even though you can't really see Sammy's, we have Vegas, we have Tampa, and we have the Kraken. So that's pretty cool. But Mike, I'm disappointed to not ever see your hoodie anymore.
Well, it's also 90 degrees every day in Georgia right now, so it's kind
90
of
here too, sir. No excuses. Play like a champion.
That's true. And last night, by the way, I was the only one on the show to pick the Rangers.
You were. That is true. And you know, I have a story about that because a buddy of mine had me putting a bet on the Rangers for him. And when I asked his rationale, he gave probably the simplest but smartest rationale I've ever heard, which is in Game 7s, take the best goalie. Duh. Mm-hmm. Plus 125. He cashed a nice ticket yesterday.
Amen.
Yeah, I thought we would. I thought we'd get the Canes to sneak back in, and by the hair on their chinny chin, which is okay. The Rangers are a good team. They're playing well. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got obviously Coach Gallant, who's, if you're familiar, who ran the upstart Vegas Golden Misfits to the Stanley Cup Finals, and in his first year in Vegas. I mean, Turk's a great coach. Gets a bad rap. He got a bad rap in Florida. He got a bad rap in Vegas, or not a bad rap, but he got a bad draw, I guess, short end of the stick in a lot of places he's been. So, I mean, let's not underestimate Turk and, that team. And you're right. And Shasturkin, if Vasilevsky wasn't in the playoffs in the games 5, 6, and 7 in the second round, we'd be talking about Shasturkin as like just an all-time great performance. And we still should be for sure.
Well, let's wait for that because we got 2 things to get to here. We got our sponsor, obviously. But first, I want to get to 5 seconds of silence for NFL cornerback Jeff Gladney, more specifically the Cardinals, obviously. He passed away yesterday in a car crash, and I hope to God alcohol's not involved this time, but you never know. So thoughts on this quickly before we do our seconds of silence here?
Go ahead, Sam.
No, I mean, I don't know his story all too well. Obviously, anytime you hear of these situations, you always I hope, like you said, alcohol wasn't involved. But I hope, his family is going to be able to recover, and it's difficult for everybody involved. So I definitely respect the 5 seconds of silence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Monday morning at 2:28 in the morning. It's hard to believe that alcohol wasn't involved somewhere. Maybe not him,
right?
But maybe the other, maybe the other person in the vehicle. Things got a little out of hand because I believe it was a single car crash, but. All in all, it's a sad situation that unfortunately ended in tragedy. And you're right. I mean, 5 seconds of silence doesn't do it near enough justice, but that's what we do here. And, it's a sad time right now.
Mute your mics for 5 seconds, boys. All righty. Thanks for that. And remember, who is the best morning show?
These guys.
Come on, Sammy. There you go. We got to go to amdrive.online to support the show with the best merchandise around. Trust me, Aaron wears it more than I do, but it is very comfortable. Aaron, show your 3-pack. There it is. The 3-pack. Get it for your family. Get it for your friends. It's very cheap. Trust me. Go to amdrive.online. Support our show. Now you guys can talk some hockey. Holy cow. It is our conference finals picks. So I guess we're going to start off with the Rangers and the Lightning. That goalie matchup. Are we picking the under in every one of these games?
It is. It's a goalie dream matchup. I mean, as much as we have the offensive matchup in the other series, you get the two best goalies going at each other here. Obviously, they don't face off against each other, but you can definitely feel the tension when it comes to who's going to get the first goal is going to really, really matter in this series.
Yeah, and it's a situation where it's the second straight series in a row where the Lightning, I believe, on paper, are head and shoulders above their opponent, but they have to go on the road to start. The Lightning currently have the best road record, not named the Rangers. At the moment, I believe the Rangers are 5-2 or 5-3.
It's gotta be 3.
5-3, I believe, on the road. Yeah. With 2 Game 7. I believe they're 5-3 on the road right now so far. So the Lightning are 4-2. So theoretically, either of these teams doesn't have an advantage being at home because the other team plays well on the road in these teams' buildings as well. It's going to be a knockdown drag-out. I told you guys from Game 4, I don't really want to face the Rangers. I'd rather face Carolina. They're running on a backup goalie. They're running in a situation where, I still think they're going to get smoked. I still think it's 6 games. So, a situation here, Vasilevsky's, like you said, right now playing lights out, playing better than anybody in the world, and Shasturkin is a close second. So, if we do get to a Game 7, you have to think Vasi on the road, or, is it just strictly, Sam, a better goaltender in this spot? Because Shasturkin's not too far behind him right now.
Shasturkin.
Yeah, my thoughts on this is that Tampa has the best goalie, and they also have the best player, and they also do all the dirty work better. They also have all the experience. It looks like a very one-sided matchup. The only thing you could say is, the Rangers have home ice, and then you bring up the point of both teams are really great on the road anyway. I kind of agree with our comment here by Jake Carreri that the Rangers are probably going to get smoked in this series. I think Tampa does just beat them. I'm finally coming around on what you've been saying from the beginning of the playoffs there, and I think Tampa's the best team in the East.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, but I look back on it, and of course this is hindsight, but this might have been the worst matchup for them because the Rangers do the dirty work as well. Adam Fox. Now, speaking of dirty work, Jacob Trouba has been a little bit dirty in my mind the last 2 series when knocking out Sidney Crosby and knocking out Seth Jarvis.
Sam Coach, watch your back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm thinking they're going to pull a little Islanders playbook and try to take out Kucherov. But if Braden Point comes back fully healthy, which he missed the entire series against the Panthers, I don't see an avenue where the Rangers win this unless somehow they pull off a miraculous Game 7 again. The Tampa's just too strong. I'll take the bias cap off for a second. Tampa's just too strong. They have a better goalie. Sam, you're right. They do the dirty work. They have, in my mind, now that you're including Corey Perry, they have 7, maybe 8 guys who can put the thing in the thing when needed. I could list them off here. You got them. You have Stamkos. You have Colton. You have Kucherov.
We have another series to talk about. Come on.
I could talk about this one all day. You know that. But with all that being said, to preview our next segment, I only have 1 player from the Lightning in my top 5 players left. So it's an interesting little conundrum there.
Okay. We have to move on to the next series. We're running out of time here. Because you guys have to leave early, right?
Well, yeah, but we're running out. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just letting you know. So, Sammy, Tampa or New York, and how many games?
I'm going to take Tampa in 6.
Aaron.
Ditto.
Oh, I'm going to go the same. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. Oilers, Avalanche.
Wait, 1 second. I know we're moving on, but aren't the Rangers your only team left?
I don't care. I don't care at this point. I've lost all bets at this point. Yeah, there's like another $10 for you. All right. Oilers, Avalanche. I think I've got the Avalanche to win the series in 6 or 7. I just feel like the Oilers, they can't rely on outscoring you every single time, and it's going to come to a screeching halt in this series.
I bet Colorado to win the Stanley Cup beginning of the playoffs, and so I'm going to stick with them. Home. How hard is the favorite, right? But they've looked like the favorite. They've played fairly well in the playoffs so far, especially coming from the West. But I think this is going to be a good series. I hope it goes 7. I'm going to root for it to go 7, even though it puts my my bet in peril. Hoping for the series of all time. To be honest, it's got the potential, and I think Colorado in 7.
So I may be on an island a little bit here. I've said this, and they've debunked it for 2 straight series. Most notably, obviously, last round in the series versus the Calgary Flames. But the goaltending's a problem. I know Mike Smith is his numbers don't necessarily reflect it, but I mean the amount of easy, soft goals he's giving up. I mean, all it takes is for 2 nights this Edmonton Oilers offense to go silent, which I know is crazy because Drysaddle has 26 points. McDavid has 26 points.
Crazy.
Evander Kane has like 18 points and 12 goals. But I'm going to say Colorado wins in 5 or 6 games. Might be 5. I'm leaning 5. I really am.
How big a bet to make? It might be plus money if it's Colorado in 5.
I think I might try, a Colorado in 4, 5, or 6 and see if they're all if it all guarantees me money. That might be my bet. I think that might be better than the series price, which I believe they're minus 145 right now, 160. I'll have to look it up while you guys talk.
They're minus 180 in game 1, which is a really big line.
I'm gonna look it up while you guys talk.
We're out of time to talk, but you gotta look it up quick.
No, my internet sucks if I try to do multiple things on the
other side of the break here will tell us. But when we come back, it's Top 5 Tuesdays. We got
240. They're minus 240 in the series.
That's crazy.
All right, guys. When we come back, Top 5 Tuesday, baseball, NBA final storylines, and NHL players left in the playoffs. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
All right, guys, if you like the show, you got to hit the subscribe button, by the way, because we love you and you love us. But just remember, if you want the best merchandise from every team, every league with daily deals, including free shipping on orders of $49 or more today, you've got to go to mikeandandrop.com and do what, boys?
Click the F.
Whoa! Click me up. I love it. Support the show, McGregor.com. Click the Fanatics logo, and everything is at your disposal. Aaron's going to do that ad read next time. Let's get
I have to say this. I have to say this, though. Based on Fanatics and the Fantasy Draft Friday, Sammy, you smoked Mike. Good job.
Yes.
Sir.
We didn't post a poll, so we don't know.
That's on you.
I know.
Right now, there's one vote, Sam.
Top 5 baseball teams. Sammy, go first.
My list pretty much remains unchanged. A slight change in order. Dodgers number 1. Nothing has taken them down. Mets move up to number 2. Yankees fall to number 3. We've had the trash can banging Astros at number 4 the whole season.
Bastards.
And unfortunately, I wanted to change Milwaukee back into the top 5, but since their pitching staff has been completely decimated, I'm going to keep San Diego there. Despite not being the only non-division winning team right now in my top 5, but still playing good ball. Baseball at this time of year is a little bit of a backseat to the playoffs, so that's my top 5. I don't see it changing much unless something happens crazy this week.
Aaron.
All right, well, my top 5, I looked at the last time I did a top 5, which was May 10th. And my top 4 are still intact, and I have number 5 entering the chat here. Number 1, still the Dodgers. I think they're the most complete team in baseball. Number 2 here for me is still the Yankees. I'm not sure how we're dropping them down, even with a 2-game losing streak right now. But number 3 for me, this might shock you guys. I don't know. But it's still the Brewers. I mean, they're still, despite the fact that the pitching staff isn't what it was last year, still quality team, 40 run differential right now, which is pretty much par for the course with all the other division winners except for Dodgers, Mets, who are my number 4 here. If we're going by in a full body of work, the Mets are 3-4 interchangeable for me right now. I don't trust them. I don't trust them going forward. And I'd like to feel more, haha, I told you so, than start jumping on the bandwagon because we see the same story every year. This might be a different Mets team. I don't know. We'll see. And entering the chat at number 5, falling out was the Twins, who are still close, still very close. But the Houston Astros have entered my top 5 as well. So that pitching is just incredible. And Justin Verlander, what he's doing coming back from Tommy John surgery at, I believe, 38 or 39 years old, just stupid good.
Week 7 for me for baseball top 5 here. Number 1 are the Dodgers, and this is their 6th week in a row at the number 1 spots, although they're hanging on thin ice right now. Number 2, the Mets, for the first time in 7 weeks, and they're the only other team outside of the Dodgers to make my top 5 all 7 weeks. They're the highest yet at number 2. Number 3, the Yankees, for the 5th week in a row, are in the top 5, but it ends their 4-week stretch of top 2. Number 4, the Cardinals, 3rd straight week in the top 5. Number 5, entering the chat for the first time this season, is the Brew Crew.
So I'm a huge Brewer fan. I think I told you guys I bet them to win the World Series earlier in the year. But if you're projecting forward, missing Peralta for an extended period of time, now Woodruff is on the IL as well. The reason they didn't enter my top 5, despite having the 4th or 5th best record in baseball, is if you look forward, I don't think they can sustain it like this. And then, to your point, Aaron, with the Mets, they're going to get DeGrom back. I mean, they're already doing this without their best pitcher. I mean, all initial medical reports say he's coming back strong. So in the second half of the season, while Milwaukee's pitching staff is getting worse, I think the Mets get a lot better. So that's where my projection
Maybe so. If we're looking at projecting right now, if we're looking at the here and now, I wrote this down, I forgot to say it. But the Mets are actually the only team leading a division that no one else is 500 or better.
That's true.
So let's put
the
a little
Flames of
the
MLB.
Maybe the NL East is the Pacific Division. You might be right.
It might be, but remember the World Series.
At least the Flames had Edmonton.
The World Series champions who come from that division too, and I do believe they'll be over 500 when things settle. So
maybe so. I mean, they're 23 and 26 with their guys. That whole division. We expected Miami and Washington to underachieve, but Philadelphia, good Lord, how many players do you got to put on your team before you guys just realize you suck? You absolutely suck.
Trash. I keep saying it.
Shout out Joey Capusta.
maybe get an arm if you're in Philadelphia. They could use an arm or two.
All right, top 5 NBA Finals storylines. This is an all Mike list, so bear with us because next up is Aaron and Sammy's top 5 NHL players left in the playoffs. Number 5 for me, injuries. Did you guys know that Gary Payton, Andre Iguodala, and Otto Porter Jr. all practice this week and have a chance to play in the finals? In other words, if you want Warriors to win the series, take them now at minus 155 before it goes to minus 200 because those 3 guys matter. Number 4, I call this storyline Tatum. How Jason Tatum performs will be a big conversation considering the late, great Kobe Bryant trained him and really boosted his game. Number 3, NBA final storyline, Klay. Were the Warriors really just a healthy Klay Thompson away from winning another title? Time will tell. The second best storyline, Celtics core. Can the Celtics win a title with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as their main pieces? And number 1, the elephant in the room happens to be 6'3", Steph. Will Steph Curry rise above and win Finals MVP? What's bad for him is Andrew Wiggins is playing out of his mind, and the last 2 times Warriors won it, or well, the abundance of time they did, their small forward won it, although playing LeBron James. I think Wiggins is a great dark horse to win the Finals MVP, considering he's the matchup against Jason Tatum. Preview for tomorrow's show.
And it does seem like maybe they weren't Klay Thompson away from winning another title, but they were definitely at least Klay Thompson away from getting to another Finals. I mean, they've been to, 6 in the last 8? They went to 5. He was out for 2 years. Writing on the wall there.
When he's on the court, they're a better team. Their team chemistry is just so much better than everybody else's. I mean, when they're all playing well and they're all playing together, they're the hardest team in the NBA to beat. And you saw it all year long when they were resting guys here and there, and they were playing 2 or 3 of those players together. But once they put them all together, they have been a juggernaut.
Right.
So let me ask you guys this, because you follow basketball more than I do. Is this the best starting 5 for the Warriors during this run ever in the last 8 years?
Yes, because they have a small forward, and Kevin Durant does not demand touches. Like Andrew Wiggins, does not demand touches like Kevin Durant did. Like Wiggins can be fine slashing to the rim and getting his when he needs to, but you don't have to get the ball to Kevin Durant. And let's say Kevin Durant doesn't hit those shots against LeBron James. Maybe it's a hands down Andrew Wiggins is the best, but the fact that he did hit him makes the argument a little bit harder to make. But I think Wiggins definitely is a lot more team friendly.
So I will say no. I mean, I think when the teams with Durant were better, right? Not only in the regular season were they better, but other than the massive upset of being down up 3-1 and then getting upset by Cleveland, they were the best team every year they had Durant, and it wasn't even close. This team is very good. Fair. We haven't determined if they're even the best team this year. That team was the best team for 3 straight years.
That's fair. I was just literally asking about their team specifically, but yeah, I mean, I was curious because obviously we have the KD and that team just looked unstoppable, but you're right. This team plays a little bit more. It almost seems like they're without pressure a little more. Like Stephen Klay got theirs, Draymond's got his, but now you have Jordan Poole, you have, Andrew Wiggins and some other guys, Jonathan Kuminga, who haven't enjoyed the fruits of the success, but they all seem to be playing and gelling much better as a team than the, now KD and Draymond are beefing, Steph's trying to not to get involved in everything. We don't have that right now. Now, maybe 2-3 years down the line, we'll see. If they're still a dominant franchise with these same players, we could see that. But right now, they look like just a fun bunch, having a good time.
Yeah, and they play that way. I mean, they have a great team chemistry. When they're on the court together, the ball just moves so fluidly. I mean, every shot is open. It seems like they're playing, like I said, they're playing great ball. I don't know that they can ever surpass that team that won 70-plus games and 3 championships over 2 championships over 3 years.
But that team didn't have Durant on it, the 73-9 team.
Right, but that team added Durant and then won 68 the next year and then 2 championships the year after that. I mean, I agree that younger version of them was still a better version in my opinion.
Fair.
Let's get to Sammy's top 5 players left in the NHL playoffs.
So I went to 1 player per team, and 1 team obviously gets 2. But for me, it's going to be top 5. Number 5 is going to be Shasturkin, the second best goalie left, but the best player on the Rangers, without a doubt, in my opinion. They've had different guys step up at different times, but he's been their rock. Number 4 for me is going to be Leon Drysaddle, which will be one of two Edmonton Oilers on this list, obviously, but he's been playing out of his mind, just a complete and total facilitator for that team, and they're so stacked offensively. It's absolutely crazy. Number 3 is Vasilevsky. He's the best goaltender left in this series and in the playoffs. Obviously, 2-time world champion, great player. Number 2 is going to be McKinnon. Probably, if not for our number 1, would be a guy we'd be talking about having some insanely amazing plays this year in the playoffs and just carrying that team both emotionally, physically, everywhere else. And the number 1, Conor Mcjesus, the best player I've ever seen. He's just a beast, man. It's so fun to watch him play. I had a really hard time not putting Maker, I don't know how you pronounce it, on this list because he's the best defensive player, at least on the offensive side. And Steve Stamkos too gets an honorable mention. Those guys have been playing out of their mind. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Go ahead, Aaron.
So Sammy and I have the same players in the top 5. It's not a shocker. I mean, we have 4 teams left in the playoffs. But ours are in a little different of an order here. So I'll go ahead and start. Number 5, Igor Shasturkin has crept in. I don't think if it wasn't for Game 6 and 7, he probably wouldn't have been in there. If we're looking at the best player that's not the goalie in New York, for me, it's a toss-up between Chris Kreider and Mika Zibanejad. And you could even throw Artemi Panarin into the breadman as well. But the way Mika plays and Chris Kreider play, just so under the radar, we don't talk about him enough. But I went with, ultimately I went with Igor Shasturkin because of the performance that he has. But let's not forget, in the beginning of this playoffs, he got pulled twice. So let's not forget that. He got pulled 2 back-to-back games. He got pulled back-to-back games against the Penguins. Number 4 for me actually is Nathan McKinnon. Now, it's hard to put him number 4, but you have to put these guys somewhere. 8 goals, 5 assists, including a nifty little hat trick, maybe the play of the playoffs. But ultimately he fell to number 4 for me. Leon Drysaddle, I think, is a better player than Nathan McKinnon is, and I found him at number 3 right here. Leon Drysaddle does it all. If Connor McDavid didn't exist, or if Leon Drysaddle was on a different team, we might be talking about Leon Drysaddle as the best player in National Hockey League. That's not a goal. And I know that sounds crazy, but he's incredible, and he gets so overshadowed, and he's on the West. So there's just so many different things that are pulling him down. He's a German guy. He's not a Canadian guy. Like, there's so many things that go against Leon Drysaddle. It's not even funny. But I want to let you know, Leon, there's a guy down here in Vegas who's got your back, who thinks you're pretty damn good. Number 2 for me is the big cat, Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, he's been doing it for 3 years. Only reason I want to put him number 1. I really do.
I know you do.
I want to put. To me, I had an argument on Twitter about who's more important, a shutdown goalie or someone who can score. And while we both made good points, ultimately I have to go with a guy who can score at will, because it reminds me of the year that the Ducks lost to the Devils, when Jean-Sebastien Giguère gave up absolutely little to nothing. But unfortunately, Martin Brodeur gave up nothing. And Jean-Sebastien Giguère won the Conn Smythe Trophy as the loser of a Stanley Cup final. It's insane. But nobody could score for him. Nobody would score. So ultimately, the big cat comes in at number 2 for me. And, of course, Connor McDavid, number 1. I mean, he's just insane what he can do with the puck, facilitating. I've seen rumblings, and now I didn't watch enough of it. I've seen highlights, obviously. So this is easy for me to say, just like it's easy for Mike to say LeBron's the best player of all time versus Michael Jordan, because, the film is so old to him. But Connor McDavid might be better. Now, he might not finish statistically tell me. Better. He might be better than Wayne Gretzky.
Jesus!
I can't argue that point. I mean, I think the difference in our list, by the way, is Drysaddle is 1 spot off. So there's 2 guys in Vegas who think he's pretty good just because you have him 1 spot higher. But yeah, McDavid is he's a joy to watch. If you like watching hockey, or if you want to get into watching hockey, he's the guy we should be putting on every poster across the world. He's just amazing. And he's faster than everybody else. He's more sophisticated with his puck movements. Everything he does is just so enjoyable. And he passes the puck so well. For a guy who goes that fast, he's absolutely a pleasure. I love watching him play.
Yes, I am. I am a pleasure.
You can throw that comment up there. Yeah, I said maybe. It's a big maybe. And again, he may not finish statistically better than Wayne Gretzky because it's stupid, the numbers. But, I mean, you have to look at the eras, too. Smaller pads, worse goalies. The best goalie in the era of Wayne Gretzky may have been his own goalie in Grant Fuhr. So, I mean, it's not fair. I mean, you put McDavid up against the big cat, that which might be what we get. And then we'll have to find out for real who the number one player on my list should have been. But again, he's my modern day Gretzky. I love Sid the Kid. I love Alex Ovechkin, but he's my modern day Gretzky. The way he's able to facilitate, he's the Magic Johnson of freaking hockey.
He's my modern day Jesus. How about that?
Yeah, well, I don't want to throw religion into this. We should switch to politics. He's my modern day Ronald Reagan.
No. You guys got to go. Have a good one. When we come back, when I come back, I'm talking about Jesus because Nathan McKinnon thinks he's the best too, and he ruined it. Also, Jimmy Butler's shot selection, was it good? I'll talk about that next. AM Drive will continue, and these guys are gone. Have a good one, guys.
Take care, my friends. See you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
And welcome back to the AM Drive on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. For clips of the show and to just interact with us, follow the AM Drive at AM Drive TV on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want the best in sports merchandise, you gotta go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and click the Fanatics logo. It helps us, and for that, we gracias. All right, so we just talked about Conor McDavid. Geez, let me stop that. But seriously, though, Conor McDavid is by far, or at least looks like by far, the best player in hockey. Here's the problem. Nathan McKinnon, who is going to be playing against him in the Western Conference Finals for the Avalanche. Remember the big thing on our show yesterday was, how good is this for hockey? The mano and mano, prime for prime. And then Nathan McKinnon, who said no, Conor McDavid was the best. You ruined it, moron. You ruined it. What makes me so frustrating about some of these leagues like baseball? So Mike Trout is the best player in baseball, right? It seems like it. You might get argue some other guys, but Mike Trout seems to be that guy. He doesn't talk. He's like a mute person. And I just don't understand it. But basketball, you have LeBron and KD and Steph. All those guys will talk. In football, those guys are arrogant. Sometimes your sport needs your guys to have a little bit of personality. I know Conor McGregor doesn't have much, but for Nathan McKinnon to go out and say, no, he's the best, what are you doing, bro? You are one of 4 teams left to win the Stanley Cup, the thing that people literally will pee in order to celebrate, and you say your opponent, now he's the best. I don't care if he is. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with these leagues, man? Have some personality. Good Lord. Why don't we make a lot of money? Well, this is why. Why don't more people in America like us? This is why. Holy cow. You cannot win with these guys, man. I'm sorry. But Nathan McKinnon, what a stupid, stupid comment. Another thing is, Jimmy Butler. His shot selection in Game 7, and obviously he scored 47 in Game 6, scored like 35 in Game 7, could have scored 37 or 38. Here's the issue. Jimmy Butler, when the Heats, after their fans left with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, our Miami Heat fans left with 3.5 minutes left in a 13-point game, the Heat came back. And with 17 seconds left, Jimmy Butler grabs the rebound, going up the floor, and pulls a 3. I'll admit, in the moments, I was angry. But it was only for like half a second or a second. I was angry because it felt like we should have held for the last shot. I know we had no timeouts. Based Kyle Lowry's stupidity of diving on the floor and not passing it to a wide open guy who was right next to him with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So we had no timeouts left. I know Al Horford was backpedaling. So I give that Jimmy Butler may have taken a dumb shot. I kind of want us to hold or get a good shot. But like Mark Jackson, or I think it was Mark Jackson who said it, what if he made it, though? You know, it's a legacy shot for Jimmy. It's a legacy shot for the Miami Heat. If he doesn't make it, obviously, here's the thing. Let's say we tie the game. Let's say Al Horford does not foul Jimmy and Butler makes the shot inside. You still have Jason Tatum to come back with no pressure but to force overtime. Jimmy took the shot that puts immediate pressure on the Celtics. The analytics of it are horrible, I admit it. But Butler was feeling it. He played the entire game, and that was his moment. I don't care what shot he got, because, I mean, granted, it was wide open. And sometimes those threes where you lean in and like land like right by the free throw line, sometimes those go in more than the other ones. Do I think it was the smartest basketball play he could have made? No. Do I think it was a good shot? Yeah. I think both can be true. I don't think it was a bad shot. I think the decision might have been, I don't know. I just feel like in that moment, I can live with that. Because they were up. Who else? You think anybody else is going to take that shot? Let's say we did wind down the clock. Or let's say Jimmy did go inside. Jimmy's taking the shot regardless. And who knows? Al Horford inside is a very good defender. He's not going to block you and send you packing, but he might not even foul you. So I do believe that Jimmy Butler's 3 in that moment I lived with. I was fine. And I'll say it once, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. We did not deserve to win that game. The last 2 games in Miami, fans left right before a comeback. And that is sickening to me. That is despicable. that the fans left before we made our comeback. So we lost game 5, and we lost game 7, and rightfully so. I've been telling people this outside the show. I questioned my fandom. I know what you're saying. Well, that's kind of lame, Michael. No, well, to me, it's not lame. To me, it means something for me. Because to me, it's my whole livelihood. My whole thing is sports, man. No one in my family on either side, my immediate family, cousins, uncles, aunts, grandparents, whatever, they don't like sports, period. They don't care, period. I felt like it was stupid for fans to leave. Game 5. What do we lead the series 3-2. Game 7. Series is tied 3-3. A chance to make it to the NBA Finals. And you leave with 3.5 minutes left? We didn't deserve it. So even if Jimmy's shot was a bad shot, even if it went in, I'm glad it did not. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm glad it didn't because our fans did not deserve to see more basketball. When you leave, it's not just a few, like 30 people can be seen on TV walking out. I can't support that. Shout out to the Celtics, man. You think Boston fans would have left? No, they would not have. Tomorrow's hump day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day today on this Top 5 Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoy the segment that will obviously be on YouTube after the show, not just the live stream. Follow us on Twitter at AM Drive TV. For Sammy Action and Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvelis. This was the AM Drive. And please, drive safe, won't you? Bye.